That tornado took out huge chunks of roofs out of buildings as it made its way through Tulsa.
We're going to show you some of the damage that's out here now. These exterior windows are all knocked out.
Bricks, sheetrock, and everything else is scattered along 41st Street.
I thought it was a clap of thunder to find out it was a tree landing on my house.
This is right off 41st, so we see significant damage.
But with all this damage, there's no telling how long it'll take for things to get back to the way they were.
There's always been a gap in radar coverage for southeast Oklahoma. Until now. Emery Bryant explains.
Durant is the county seat for Bryan County, nicknamed the City of Magnolias, for tree-lined streets where about 50,000 people live. It's an area without good weather radar coverage.
We're right here.
At the Emergency Management Office, the best radar they can access is over 100 miles away. That's too far for a reliable tornado warning.
Then we have to rely on our actual spotters in the field that are visually seeing the tornado on the ground. It would have been great when we had tornado warnings for Durant and Bryan County to have another tool in our toolbox that we can rely on.
The city decided to buy its own tool, a Doppler radar that cost $1.6 million. A grant from the state paid for it, and the city will operate it. They're placing it on top of a water tower, 190 feet off the ground and a few miles west of town. Durant is within range of the National Weather Service radar out of Norman and Fort Worth, both more than 100 miles away. But from that distance, the radar beam is at more than 11,000 feet over Bryan County. The new radar in Durant will fill the gap underneath the others for the first time.
They say it'll reach out about 85 miles, effective range.
The process of lifting the radar is one of the last steps in filling the information gap for southeast Oklahoma. Local emergency managers will be the primary users, but the feed will also go to the National Weather Service. Getting the radar to the top of the tower marked a milestone in the effort that's taken several decades. The addition of this weather radar in Durant will give forecasters and emergency managers a look at weather closer to the ground, a look they haven't had before. When there's just rain in the forecast, that's useful, but when there's a tornado coming, that information can make all the difference. The radar image will come into Bryan County's Emergency Management Office, where they'll have local radar information they can rely on.
A Tulsa native is helping forecasters better understand weather patterns. Dr. Danae Carlos is the new director at the National Severe Storms Laboratory in Norman. Meteorologist Alan Crone talked to him about his new role and his time growing up right here in Tulsa.
Danae Carlos is focused on the future.
It doesn't always matter where you come from. It more so matters where you're going.
But he hasn't forgotten where he came from.
I grew up in North Tulsa. I'm a very proud North Tulsan, but I'm also a very proud Oklahoman.
Carlos's path to meteorology was anything but predictable. After graduating from Booker T. Washington High School, he dreamed of a career in medicine.
I was friends with one of the few African-American medical doctors here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and so I wanted to be like him. But when I took my first biology class, I'll tell you what, the memorization required for biology, I did not have that. I was really good at solving problems, though.
Carlos went on to earn a bachelor's degree in chemistry, as well as a master's and a PhD from Howard University in Washington, D.C. He's the first African-American director of the Severe Storms Laboratory in Norman, and he wants Oklahoma kids to know anything is within reach.
I wanted to serve my community.
During a recent trip to Tulsa, Carlos visited Carver Middle School, a school he once attended.
But he taught me. I really do hope to inspire that next generation because we need badly STEM students to go into our fields.
Carlos knows the future will one day be in the hands of the kids in this room, and he has a message for them.
Everything doesn't have to be perfect to get to where I am. I'm living proof that it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to have the support and the drive and the determination to really go after your dreams.
Carlos wants kids to know it's okay to fail sometimes. He says what's important is not letting failure define your future.